single day. Check out his work at the Draft Network and also the Draft Dudes podcast as well. Kyle, thank you so much for taking the time, and enjoy your weekend coming up.
Thank you. You too, Alex. Good talking with you.
Great talking with you as always. That was awesome. All right, when we come back, we're going to have our Thoughtful Thursday segment. We're going to have an important chat about shortages. All right, the shortages that don't really matter versus the shortage that really matters. Like this is, if you only retain information from one segment today, let it be this one. And of course, we've had an awesome show so far. I'm not recommending you retain nothing from Kyle Krabs, Ira Winderman, and everything we talked about today, but I would venture to say that our discussion on shortages is going to be really, really important. Our Thoughtful Thursday segment is coming your way next here on Onside Radio. Hey, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Squared Circle Digest. Now wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnsideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwart here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. only on OnsideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnsideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Alex Aguirre.
The Miami Marlins finally end their losing skid at 4 games with a win last night against the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-2 behind the bat of once again the one-man wrecking crew, Jesus Aguilar. Aguilar connected on a 2-run shot in the first inning to give the Marlins the lead, and the Fish never looked back. Cody Poteet made his major league debut for the Miami Marlins with the start and went 5 strong innings and allowing only 2 runs. Poteet becomes the first pitcher in Marlins history to strike out 6 batters in his MLB debut without allowing a walk. The bullpen took it from there with Dimi Garcia closing closing it for his 6th save of the season. The Aguilar home run last night now has him tied for 6th in the majors with 9 home runs and 2nd in all of baseball with 31 runs batted in. Miami has a chance to come out of Arizona with a series split tonight with Game 4 at 9:40, and things don't get any easier for the Fish as the road trip continues to take on the world champion LA Dodgers for a 3-game series. Let's go Fish.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Are people in Miami still lining up at gas stations like maniacs? You seen the footage over the last couple of days? Like old women filling up plastic grocery bags with gasoline, people filling up Tupperware, buckets, those red extra fuel containers you see around hurricane season. The gas stations are running out of fuel, but not because of the pipeline. They're running out of fuel because you guys are creating the shortage, because you guys are hoarding and stockpiling like maniacs. I mean, it's sheer insanity what's been going on for the last few days. I'm not sure what it's like out there today, because I made a beeline right onto the Palmetto Expressway, all highway driving up to work, so I didn't really drive by many gas stations on my way in today. But I was driving, on US 1 in Miami yesterday, and it's bedlam. It was bedlam out there. Like, you would have half-mile lines on the right lane of US 1 getting into a gas station. And this is the toilet paper run a year ago all over again. This is exactly like when, and this is maybe a little bit more valid, but whenever we think there's a hurricane approaching, like days out, we don't know if it's going to hit us or not, but then people go crazy and they buy up all the gasoline they can find. But it's sheer insanity this time. So what created this hysteria was that that pipeline got hacked and they were out of operation for a short time. And people in South Florida were under the idiotic misconception that we get our gasoline from that pipeline, that if that pipeline is not running, we're going to face a dangerous shortage, and if you don't have gas, you're not going to be able to get it, you're not going to be able to get around. It is 100% categorically false. We get all of our fuel from tankers. We get all of our fuel from ships. Our supply is not affected down here. We've got all the gasoline we can handle, and yet a shortage has emerged, but it's not because of the supply chain. It's because of you greedy bastards filling up Tupperware and buckets and external fuel tanks with all the gasoline you can get your hands on. You're creating a completely false narrative and a completely false panic. And the interesting thing about this, it really is a fascinating study in human psychology, okay? I know that people look at this situation and they want to say, oh, well, that just proves it. The majority of people in Miami are stupid. They're not. It only takes a small minority of really, really dumb people, because what happens is I think more people than you think understand that our supply chain is not affected, that we still have a steady supply of gasoline. And you can tell that to someone. You can say, hey, just so you know, we don't get our gas from the pipeline. We get our gas from ships, and our supply is not affected. And they can look at you and say, I completely understand. You are correct. Our supply chain is not affected. But then the problem is, if there's just enough idiots out there that are going to panic buy, even the people who are not idiots, and I know people who have done this, right? A relative of mine did this. Somebody I work with did this, that you could say, hey, I'm smart enough to know that we don't get our gas from the pipeline, but if there are enough lunatics out there buying up all the gas, I better buy it up while I can. It becomes a FOMO situation, fear of missing out. So even the smart people will panic buy because they're afraid of the dumb people buying up all the gasoline, and it becomes a huge problem. The same thing was happening with toilet paper. I mean, you remember when the lockdown first started with COVID, there's a handful of idiots who think for some strange reason that like all of the toilet paper factory workers are sick and there's no more toilet. I better buy all the toilet paper while I can, even if there are smart people who say, well, hold on. I know that the toilet paper supply chain is fine. Yet, if I don't buy up 100 pallets of toilet paper now, all the idiots are going to buy them, so I've got to buy it. So it creates this panic buying FOMO, and that's exactly what's been happening in South Florida for the last couple of days, because even the people who are smart enough to know that the gasoline supply are not affected are still going to panic buy because they don't want all the idiots to panic buy and take away the gasoline, because then you might have to wait a few days or half a week before they restock. So it's really become an ugly scene. But you know, if we can all stand together, if we can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and say, I will not buy more gas than I need, and I will not buy gas until I need it, right? If you're riding around with 3/4 of a tank right now, you don't need to be topping off. If you're riding out with a full tank right now, you don't need to be bringing in buckets and filling it up with gasoline. You don't need to. Let's all hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and agree to only buy as much gasoline as we need. So, and this is Thoughtful Thursday, by the way. I'm here to tell you the gasoline shortage, at least here where I sit in South Florida, is not real. But do you know what is real? If you're going to focus on a shortage, focus on this one. This is downright frightening. Chick-fil-A is experiencing a sauce shortage. My God! Guys, this is way more concerning than gasoline. And this is 100% real, by the way. This is not like the gas shortage. This is for real. CNN Business reports the supply chain shortage just got foul. Chick-fil-A is limiting the number of sauces it's giving out to customers because of limited stock. The chicken chain said Wednesday that industry-wide supply chain issues, which are affecting essentially every aspect of the economy, has resulted in a, quote, shortage of select items that Chick-fil-A serves, including sauces. In response, Chick-fil-A is only giving customers one dipping sauce cup per item ordered at most of its 2,600 U.S. restaurants. I don't know about you guys, but I always ask for extra Chick-fil-A sauce. And if I were to drive through Chick-fil-A tonight and ask for extra sauce, you know what they're going to tell me? They're going to tell me no. And that's going to be very disheartening to me. We have a major problem in this country, and it's not a gasoline shortage. It is a Chick-fil-A sauce shortage. The company said, we are actively working to make adjustments to solve the issue quickly, and we apologize to our guests for any inconvenience. The chain said it's working to fix the sauce supply problems as quickly as possible. Fast food restaurants have been hit especially hard in recent months with both a labor shortage and supply chain issues. For example, ketchup packets have come in short supply amid heightened demand. You know what? Honestly, we could do without ketchup. Heinz recently announced a 25% increase in production. The fried chicken wars are putting a strain in the poultry population. Major chains, including KFC, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Wingstop, are, quote, paying steep prices for chicken, and suppliers are having trouble keeping up demand because of difficulties attracting workers. Now, this is probably above my pay grade, but I do notice something, and I don't know if, Alex, if you see the same thing, because if you're like walking around, an area like an outdoor area like a mall or something where there's a lot of restaurants, or you're driving by fast food places, all of them have a sign outside that says either now hiring or help wanted. A couple months ago, I was in a long weekend with my wife down in the Florida Keys. Every restaurant we went to, now hiring. Like, everybody's trying to get more workers. So it's crazy. Like, is this because of the thing where, with the like unemployment benefits from the pandemic, that people are making like more money not to work than they would make to work, so they don't want to go like to work at fast food restaurants? Is that the issue? Like, are people making maybe conscientious choices not to go to public places to work because they're worried about the virus? But we're getting vaccinated now, so I hope people can put that behind them. But in any case, like, I've really noticed over the past few months, and if you go out to eat somewhere, pay attention and look to see if they have a now hiring sign up front, because I can almost guarantee you they do. I've noticed that ever since February. I've taken notice. Every restaurant I've gone to, I've actively looked to see if they have a now hiring or a help wanted sign, and all of them do. So there's weird, like, you don't often see like more supply than there is demand for jobs, but I've noticed that in recent months that there seem to be more jobs than people actually want to work, and I'm not exactly sure why. So that could be one of the issues with cutting in the supply chain, because if there's not enough people working at the Chick-fil-A factory and bottling up the sauces and stuff, that's affecting the sauce supply. We need to get these folks back to work, because if I'm short on Chick-fil-A sauce, this is going to be a real issue. Now, Alex, answer me honestly. What would you be more concerned about? A shortage of gasoline or a shortage of Chick-fil-A sauce? What's more alarming to you?
The Chick-fil-A sauce.
And that's the right answer. And I'll tell you why that's the right answer, okay? Not to say everyone has one, but at least with gasoline, we have the option of driving an electric car.
Yeah.
So there is a gasoline replacement. Like, you can, Teslas, although I'm a little bit mad at Elon Musk right now for sabotaging Bitcoin, but Teslas are out there. There's a lot of other manufacturers like Dodge, like they make electric cars. So at least you have an option. Like if God forbid gasoline becomes short in supply, like at least you can buy an electric car. But what's the alternative for Chick-fil-A sauces? I don't know one. Like there's no electric alternative to that.
There's only one Chick-fil-A sauce, and it's like coming up with like another Coca-Cola. You just can't.
You can't. You can't.
There's only one recipe. There's only one Coca-Cola. There's only one Chick-fil-A sauce. And anyone trying to duplicate it, they're going to fail. They will fail. There's only one Chick-fil-A sauce, and that's where my concern is at right now.
Yeah.
Not with the gasoline.
No, I'm not worried. I can walk to Chick-fil-A.
I'll walk to Chick-fil-A and then burn off the Chick-fil-A walking back home.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if and again, the gasoline shortage is not real. If it was, we would wish we lived in Europe, because like towns in Europe, you can walk everywhere. Where our towns, like, dude, like I technically have a Home Depot like right around the corner from my house, but in reality, it's like a mile away. It's like, but if you're in Europe, you walk like 10 steps and you get whatever you need. So this is tough, man. This North American life, it ain't easy on us. By the way, we were having some technical issues with the YouTube stream. We are back on, but the camera is not available right now. So you can, instead of like actually looking at me, you can look at a photo of me, which I think is probably even better. But you can chat with us live right now on YouTube. And when you get in there, smash the thumbs up button. Go to youtube.com, search for Onside Radio. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And hop onto the YouTube chat. We've had a couple of different streams go on and off today, but we've got it up and running now on YouTube. We hope you guys join us the rest of the way. Remember, at 5 o'clock, we're going to talk with Alex Windley from MLS Multiplex, talk a little Inter Miami with her. She does a really, really awesome job. At 5:20, we are going to talk some puck with David Dwork from Chirping the Cats Radio. When we come back, I want to hear from Tom Brady Sr., Tommy Brady Sr. was on Boston radio, and you be the judge. He talking a little trash against New England. We'll get to that and more when we return. Hey, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Last night, Inter Miami CF lost to CF Montreal 2-0. Inter Miami CF was held to one shot on goal. Next match is 4 p.m. Sunday in Cincinnati. And at 3 p.m., it'll be the pregame show for Onside Radio with Big O and Alex Donno, live from Dangerous Minds Brewing in Pompano. Miami Dolphins schedule was released last night. They will start in New England and end with New England at home. Dolphins will also have 2 primetime games and a trip to London to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. They also play Tom Brady once again in Tampa, this time October 10th. The Miami Heat welcome the Philadelphia 76ers into AAA tonight. Tip-off for that game is at 7:30, and just like their previous game, tonight's game will be airing on TNT. Miami Marlins beat the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 3 of their 4-game series 3-2. Jesus Aguilar homered again, and with that home run, he leads... he's second in all of baseball in RBIs. The two teams are at it again tonight at 9:40 with Trevor Rogers on the mound for your Fish. And guys, don't forget, tonight from 7 to 9, it's Fight Night with Alex Donno and James Walker. It'll be the second episode of their their show of combat sports. And you're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, OnSideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yesterday, I said it was looking like the national media was coming around a bit on Tua. Like, they were ready to give Tua the benefit of the doubt heading into his second year. Oh, look, he's got more weapons. He's got more help. He's going to be healthier for a longer period of time than he was a year ago. Oh, I forgot about Colin Cowherd. I forgot to factor in the Colin Cowturd effect. Oh man. And huge thanks, a reminder from Herman on the YouTube chat. We got Herman in there. We got Lucho. And he says, hey, did you talk yet about Colin Cowherd? Well, let me play this for you. His content engine, The Volume Sports, tweeted this little video out. This is instant reaction to the NFL schedule from Colin Cowherd. And the outlook isn't good for the Miami Dolphins. Oh, my God. Let's listen.
You know, one of the really interesting schedules is the Miami Dolphins. So Brian Flores keeps saying, hey, I love Tua. I got Tua's back. But you can't fool the players. First 8 weeks for the Dolphins, it's going to be Tua at Cam Newton and Belichick.
Oh, no.
Tua against Josh Allen and the Bills. Tua against Derek Carr in Vegas. Tua against Carson Wentz. Tua at Tom Brady. Tua at Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, no.
Tua against Matt Ryan. Tua at Buffalo and Josh Allen. He's going to look smaller. He's not going to have the arm. He's not as athletic. He doesn't have the, pre-snap excellence right now of a Matt Ryan or a Tom Brady. Wow. Those first 8 weeks, he's going to be the second best quarterback in 8 games.
Whoa!
Good luck selling to that Miami Dolphin locker room, Tua. That is a rough 8 games with star quarterbacks. Your break is at Trevor Lawrence. 6'6", huge arm. Dolphin players will be able to watch him. And you're going to be selling me that Tua's the guy. A little small, not a big arm, not real mobile. You can keep telling me he's the guy. But at some point, players are going to go, I'm watching Brady and I'm watching Josh Allen twice. And I'm watching Trevor Lawrence. You got a lot of great quarterbacks. Big arms, big mobility, big athletes. Good luck to it.
Let's just forfeit the first 8 games of the season. And has anyone ever done that? My God, this is an agenda. I don't know how else to describe this as an agenda. This guy despises Tua. He wants Tua to fail. It sounds like he wants a mutiny in the Dolphins locker room as well. It's so insane. And I know how Cowherd is. Once he picks up an agenda, like he's been ranting and raving for a decade about how quarterbacks who wear their hats backwards can't succeed, the guy's a full-on lunatic. If Colin Cowherd was in South Florida right now, you know where he'd be? He'd be waiting in line to fill up Tupperware with gasoline. That's where he would be. It's a crazy person. It's a lunatic. He's got an agenda. He's a turd. How quickly we forget when Tua Tagovailoa went toe-to-toe, I should say, against Pat Mahomes last year. Do you remember the conversations that were coming out of that game? And I understand, guys, and my point here is you take the highs with a grain of salt, but you also have to take the lows with a grain of salt. Like, don't just come out here and say, the first 8 weeks, Tua is going to be smaller, he's going to be less athletic, he's going to have less of an arm than all these other quarterbacks. The Dolphins locker room going to have a lot of questions to answer. Tua Tagovailoa went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes last year. You remember what they were saying after that game? This could be this generation's version of Brady and Peyton. That's what they were saying. How quickly we forget, because Tua hits a couple bumps in the road. He gets benched, has a couple of bad games, has a couple of, unimpactful performances, and now the guy's damaged goods. Now he's a bust. Now he's terrible. Why do you assume his teammates aren't behind him? Why do you assume that they're ready to like take up arms and start like a coup inside the locker room if Tua, hits any run of bad form last year? It's absolute nonsense. I take this as motivation. I absolutely do. And you know what? I don't know if Tua even listens to blowhards like this. Tua seems like a guy who's more focused on what he's got going on. He's more focused on his family. He's more focused on positivity. I don't know if Tua is the type that's watching Fox Sports 1 in the middle of the afternoon. I don't know if Tua is the type that's going on Twitter to see, what's Skip Bayless and Colin Cowherd and Stephen A. Smith, what are they saying about me today? That's more of a Baker Mayfield deal. I don't think Tua is like that. I don't think Tua cares what the critics are saying about him. I really don't think that affects his mentality whatsoever. I think Tua is just focused on Tua getting better, and that's the only thing he cares about. So I don't know how much satisfaction Tua is going to take in proving the doubters wrong, because I don't think Tua listens to these idiots, but I'm going to take a lot of satisfaction in it. If Tua comes out and builds an electric on-field relationship with Will Fuller, and if he resumes what used to be an electric on-field relationship with Jalen Waddle, and he and Devontae Parker really start dominating out there, I'm going to have a lot of fun shutting up these idiots. Here's going to be the challenge, though. If Tua starts balling out next year, do you think Colin Cowherd's going to admit he's wrong? I'm going to save the receipts, bros. Alex, I want you to put that soundbite we just played, put it in a folder and title the folder "Do Not Delete," right? Like put it away somewhere where we're not going to forget about it, because guess what? Come October, November, if Tua is out there slinging it and the Dolphins are winning games, do you think Cowherd's going to come on a show and say, well, you know what? I think I was actually wrong about that Tua Tagovailoa. He's pretty good. No, he's not going to admit that. He's going to pretend he was on the Tua bandwagon all along. That's the way he rolls. That's the way the Skip Baylai and the Colin Cowherds of the world roll. They're really passionate about something, and if they're wrong, they pretend they never said it. I'm going to save the receipts. I'm not going to forget. Thank you, Miami Sports Music. Say that voice is so great, bro. I need more of that. Colin Cowherd. Herman's absolutely right. Football is a team sport. Yeah. There's 22 starters out there. I mean, Cowherd makes it sound like it's all sink or swim with Tua. Tua's the type who knows, and I think with the talent he's going to have around him now, he's going to be good at spreading the ball around and letting his players help him. Oh, man. Save those receipts, bro. Thank you, Miami Sports Music. I'm saving them. We got to make a folder, the Do Not Delete folder. The folder with all the Cowherd, all the, and Mel Kiper's like playing nice now. He used to trash Tua, and now he's talking like he's been a Tua fan all along. I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to forget this nonsense. Cowherd don't want that heat. I agree. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123 on the text line. Oh, hello to our friends Marla and Gina on the text line. Gina writes in, great show as always. She says, yeah, everywhere I go, even shopping at stores and malls, they have help wanted signs. Yeah, I think that's like that has a lot to do with this supply chain thing, that there's probably a lot of jobs open in factories. I know there's a lot of jobs open in restaurants and retail stores, and this is weird because you don't often see like more supply than demand in jobs. Like there's a lot of opportunities out there. Hell, I may pick up a side hustle. Where could you see me? Like Alex, if you were walking through the mall, where do you think I'd be working? Do I strike you as a guy who'd be working at like Pandora or Zales, like a jewelry store, like Hot Topic? Where would you say Champ Sports? Probably. Are there still Champ Foot Locker? Maybe. Where would you see me working?
Yeah, I was gonna say I can see you with like a referee outfit on and like the Foot Locker. Was that Foot Locker, right?
Yeah, Foot Locker.
I can see you at Foot Locker. I can probably see you as well as maybe, I don't know, like working in a froyo stand.
Ooh.
I feel like you know all the flavors so well, all the toppings.
Would.
Like you would actually be very helpful if someone was undecided.
And I would tell people which flavors are garbage. Like I'd be very honest. They're like, well, let me get. I'd like to get the pineapple pizza flavor. No, it's trash. Don't get that.
Nope.
Not that froyo would actually exist, but I'll tell people like, hey, that flavor's garbage. Like, don't worry about banana. Focus on raspberry. You want raspberry. Banana's trash. Focus on the raspberry froyo. I'd be brutally honest about it. We're gonna wrap up the 4 o'clock hour. 5 o'clock sharp, we're going to talk some Inter Miami with Alex Windley from MLS Multiplex. 5:20, going to talk some Florida Panthers with David Dwork from Chirping the Cats. Keep it locked right here on OnsideRadio.com. Hey, every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including, sorry, I had to burp, our very Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Hey, Big O, what's going on? Listen, I just was telling your guy that answered the phone, Alex, it's just a pleasure, man, to get out of work and get in your car and be able to put on the radio and hear South Florida sports and not have to listen to some bull crap about another team from another state that you can give to a rat's ass about and sit there and have to go through all this other bull crap talk to, again, never hear them talk about your team once or twice in 20 hours. It's just an honor, and I wanted to thank you, man, for starting this thing up, man. It's balls to the walls. I love it.
Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and ginger. Captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Dude, we got so many good suggestions on what store I would work in the mall, but only one supreme winner. And I don't know why I didn't think of this first. So one of the other good suggestions we got, Lucho Lalo said I should work in the Apple store. I would actually love that because I have all Apple devices. Because I love the way everything syncs together. Like sometimes people will say, bro, you got to get Android. Android's better. I'm telling you. I'm like, I don't even care. I don't care if it is better. Like, you could convince me it is better, and I don't care. Because if you convince me to replace my iPhone with an Android, then what do I do about my MacBook, my iPad, my Apple Watch, my Apple TV? Because I love the way I get messages onto every device and everything syncs together. So they got me. I mean, Apple devices can all go to shit, and I'm still going to stay on board with Apple because everything syncs together. Like I'm not going to be a weirdo who's got an Android phone, but then everything else Apple, because I love how everything syncs together and works in perfect harmony. So don't bother me with your Android nonsense. I want Android to shut down for. Like, I don't even want it in my life. Like I don't want to hear people talking about Android. I don't need this nonsense distraction out there. So I'd love to work in an Apple store, but Miami Sports Music had the ultimate suggestion. I would work in a Lids, the hat store. Yes! Dude, I wear hats every day. I'd love that. I would be Lids. That is the only winner. Tony 2 times says I should work in a piercing pagoda or a sports memorabilia store. You know how many piercings I have? 0. I don't have any piercings. If I was going to get one piercing, I'd probably go nipples. Just being real here. Like I don't think I wouldn't look good with an earring. Prince Albert, nope. I don't think like the nose piercing wouldn't look good on. I don't know. No piercing pagoda. It's got to be Lids. You know what my son said to me this morning? He's 3 years old. He's a little smart ass. So I'm like this morning after I get out of bed, I'm playing with my kid. Like we're playing garbage trucks. It's his favorite game. And he looks at me, and this is like, 9 in the morning. We're just like on the floor playing with garbage trucks. He looks at me. He goes, "Put on your hat, Dada." And I go, I don't want to right now. And he goes, "Put on your hat." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "Your head is ugly." That's what he said. That's what my kid said to me. Put on your hat. Why? Your head is ugly. Like, dude. I'm raising a little Conor McGregor. Like, my kid is a crap talker. And it's totally my fault because I encourage that sort of behavior. Like, it's really cute when he's 3, but when my kid is like 7, 8 years old and he's taunting all of his classmates, I'm going to have to show up to parent-teacher meetings and explain why my son is an asshole. And I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I'm creating a monster because, like, I don't know, man. Like, I get into these little, like, he and I talk trash to each other sometimes, and he takes it. He takes it to a whole nother level. Herman says, what about working in an AMC movie theater? It wouldn't be my first choice because, like, I love movies, but I don't really feel like any of the jobs you work at a movie theater involve, like, talking about movies with people. Like, I would love to work for, like a website or, like, one of the, like, the newspapers and be a movie critic. I would piss people off because I'm a huge snob. I mean, if you give me a movie with, like, one explosion, I'm going to tell you, oh, it sucks. It's just a popcorn algorithm. This is not a good movie. You give me a movie, like, in French, and, like, one of the characters is an amputee and the other one's deaf and they fall in love. That's the movie I'm giving 10 out of 10 to. Like, I love artsy films. So, yeah, I would love to be a movie critic. I don't know, like, I mean, I'm not saying I'd frown on a job. You know what I would do at AMC, though? I would like to work the concession stand. Because I love movie theater candy. And you could probably, like, sneak some of the candy home. All right, I'm getting off on a tangent. We are going to talk. We're going to talk Inter Miami. We're going to talk some Major League Soccer with the excellent Alex Windley, who's going to join us next. Hey, over the last 30 years, South Florida fans have always been able to count on one radio show that gives you the brutal honesty you need. Orlando Alzagari and the Onside Zone, daily from noon to 3 p.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast, and I've been telling you guys all about my buddies over at B&T Windows and Doors. And some of you said, hey, listen, Toast, I'd love to get PGT custom windows and doors installed, but funds are a little tight right now. No problem, bro. Y Green. You can finance it with B&T Windows and Doors through Y Green, so you can still get your PGT custom windows and doors installed. And yeah, you're not going to have to put anything down. It's awesome. That's the way I got mine installed. Call B&T Windows and Doors today. They'll tell you all about Y Green and how to finance your windows. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
5 o'clock hour, Man of the Match with Alex Donno, taking you up until 6 o'clock tonight. So, unfortunately, I do want to talk about what happened last night to Inter Miami. It was not the result that we wanted, a 2-0 loss at home here to Montreal. I was really impressed, though, with the fans and the way so many stuck around despite a really, really long delay. And I'm looking forward to having a chat about the team with Alex Windley, who's joined us before. She's kind enough to join us again, does an awesome job analyzing soccer for MLS Multiplex and World Football Index. Alex, welcome back to the show. How have you been? And are you a little bit tired after being up very late last night?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. I am tired. The press conference after the game went a bit late, so I got up a little bit late this morning. But I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, and I'm so excited to dive into your latest piece because I am obsessed with possession stats, and not for the reason you think, because I am anti people getting obsessed with possession, because I grew up primarily watching Italian soccer, and they have a term over there called catenaccio, which basically describes counterattacking football, where it really doesn't matter if you have 20% possession, 30% possession, a lot of quick counterattacks, a lot of certain times where you may have 10 men behind the ball. So I'm not that huge on possession, and you write for all the talk about possession, based on the stats, it looks like Miami gets better results when they don't have the ball. Is counterattacking the way to go? Let's dissect. So what have you come up with? Do you think that this team is actually better right now without the ball, or should they be trying to grow into a more possession-based side?
I definitely think that with the players that Neville has at his disposal right now, I think playing a counterattacking brand of football is best to get the best results for this team. Right now, Robbie Robinson's out. We have a couple of injuries, so, we're short. So we're forced to play Pizarro on the left wing. And no, he's not the quickest guy. So as you saw last night, we tried to possess the ball a bit more, but in the final third, we had no ideas to try to break through that Montreal defense. So it was a bit difficult for them. And every other game where Miami didn't have the ball too much, they played well. They played on the counter, and they got more shots than their opponents. So as of right now, possession style doesn't seem to fit the team too well, and hopefully Neville will be able to correct it before the Cincinnati game.
What were your biggest takeaways from last night's game? To me, the first half was especially discouraging, Alex, because they couldn't string two passes together. They couldn't do anything dangerous in the final third, and in the first half more than the second half, they weren't defending well either. What were the big factors to you as to why they looked so discombobulated?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest. I don't want to blame fatigue because Montreal had the same amount of rest days as the team, but right now it just looked like a team rebuilding, which is what Inter Miami is at right now. I don't know. The guys kind of gave up, really. I know when Federico Higuain did come on, the team did look a bit more lively, and when Jovan Jones came on, he immediately gave the team some spark, but yeah, last night was definitely a head scratcher, and it's definitely something Neville and his coaching staff has to figure out.
Yeah, and so when we look ahead to Cincinnati, I mean, first of all, do we have any idea on maybe the statuses of some of the injured players? When obviously we walked kind of a dangerous line with Robbie when he came back maybe a little bit too soon against Nashville and got re-injured, and Figal had picked up a hamstring injury in the warm-ups. Carranza has been suffering from vertigo. Like, do we have any idea if any of these players who've not been available might be available Sunday?
Carranza was on the bench this last game. Robbie's still out. Nico Figal is still out. As far as injuries goes, yeah, Robbie and Figal will still be out for a while. Carranza was on the bench. Oh,
well, that's good news. I mean, hopefully he'll get a little bit of shot to do something. And against Cincinnati, I don't know how much of an emotional lift they're going to get because they're opening up the new stadium there, so there could be like some extra adrenaline for them. How could you see that game playing out, Alex? Do you think Inter Miami could bounce back? They were 3 games unbeaten prior to last night. Do you think that Cincinnati could be a team that they can bounce back and get a win against?
Oh, for sure. Cincinnati hasn't been the best. I don't want to jinx anything, but yeah, they're opening up their new stadium. They'll be high on adrenaline. We're coming off a 2-game week now, 3 games with the Cincinnati game. Hopefully Miami will be able to push through it, but we definitely have the talent to be able to beat Cincinnati, but it could be a bit of a trap game. It's on national TV. Emotions will be high. Cincinnati will be high on emotions. Miami basically has to temper that and play their brand of football, basically.
We're joined here by Alex Winley from World Football Index and MLS Multiplex. I noticed this was kind of cool. You tweeted out before the game yesterday that there appear to be new artist renderings of Miami Freedom Park, which is the project for the new site down in Dade County. So what were kind of your takeaways on those artist renderings, and are there any major differences from the ones that we got previously? Like, how much stuff did they tweak on this one?
Yeah, I thought they looked brilliant, honestly. I wasn't too big of a fan of the first ones. Don't get upset at me, but honestly, I thought the design on the first ones were a bit too much, and with these second designs coming out, it shows that they took in the airport into account. The stadium is much lower to the ground. It's a bit more wide. It looks a bit like the Stade de France in Paris, I believe. It looks super nice. Hopefully it comes to fruition. I love to cover games in that, and I think as far as everything regarding that goes, hopefully they'll be able to get it done because I think it'll be one of the best stadiums in the league, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm pretty optimistic. A good friend of mine is a lawyer that works a lot with the city of Miami, and I've asked him. I've been hounding him, Alex. I've asked him 100 times over the last couple of years, and sometimes some of the architectural plans will come into his office and through his desk, and he always, and he's a straight shooter. He always tells me it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time because we know how it is. The politics down here, especially in Dade County, you've got to. It takes time. Nothing happens quickly. You've got to kind of walk through quicksand for a while. So I'm pretty confident, very confident it's going to happen. It's really only a matter of when, not if. We're joined here by Alex Winley, who does an awesome job. Something else that I had to ask you about. Rodolfo Pizarro is just, unfortunately, he's yet to really hit his stride here, and he's yet to really, I think, find an optimal position. So what you've seen from Pizarro on the pitch, and he's played in a few different roles. It's hard to really talk so much about the Nashville game where he was forced to play in the number 9 spot with so many guys out that game, but he hasn't really fit as a number 10. He hasn't really fit so well as a left winger. Does he have a role on this team in your eyes?
That's the million-dollar question, honestly. I've struggled with this a lot. I do like Rodolfo as a player. He's a great guy. He's super funny, super chill. But I do have a feeling that he's probably not the type of number, quote unquote, 10 that this team needs. You see Federico Higuain, he's more of a passer. He's got an eye for a pass. Pizarro is more of a type of guy who wants to be the goal scorer, but he hasn't been as productive as we want him to, basically. And he's not a traditional 10. He's not a winger. I know last night I heard a couple of fans get a bit upset at him when he got substituted off. So yeah, La Familia they're super. They want this team to do well. So when they get on the backs of players, it's frustration. So Pizarro definitely needs to step up, but I do hope that Neville can find a way to fit him in there. But right now, he's struggling really bad.
Who I did think was good last night was Jovan Jones. He actually made some impactful plays late in the second half. What did you think?
Yeah, I love Jovan. I thought when we signed him initially, it was a brilliant pickup from Chris Henderson in the front office. He's an MLS Cup, winner. He's a MLS veteran. He's a guy in the locker room that, the younger players can look up to. He came on immediately and started impacting the game out there on the left, throwing in crosses and whatnot, and just, taking on Montreal defenders, just trying to make something happen. He had a brilliant camo, and I do think he's in contention to possibly start against Cincinnati as well.
Yeah, it's a good call, and great stuff here as always from Alex Windley, who does an awesome job covering Inter Miami for MLS Multiplex, and great work at World Football Index as well, which is a really good site. Make sure you follow her on Twitter at AAW_1998. Keep rocking and rolling. Awesome coverage of the team. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff there from Alex. And remember, in about 7 minutes, we're going to talk a little hockey with Dave Dwork from Chirping the Cats. Before we get to that, Alex, do you have the Tom Brady Sr. sound? We put it off from a couple segments ago because we had to hear and bash Colin Cowherd a little bit. But Tommy Brady Sr., whose son, of course, took his talents to Tampa Bay last year, he's still friendly with the Boston media. And Tom Brady Sr. was on with 98.5 The Sports Hub in Boston, and he talked a little bit about the schedule, and he threw in a little what I thought you could say is a good-natured trash talk on New England at the end of it.
I saw the schedule come out last night, and I started salivating when I saw that we play the Patriots in the fourth game of the season, and that we're coming up here to make our record 4-0 after the fourth game. So wow. It's a pretty fun time.
Wow. So, I mean, hey, you got Cowboys on that opening night, and then I think it's Atlanta. Then you got a tough West Coast trip against the Rams. And that's going to be a short week for your guy there to get ready. But you still think it's 4-0 coming out of the gate?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it'd be – yeah, I actually they're all tough.
Yeah,
you look at them and there are no walkovers, but coming back home to Boston, it's our second home here, and the Patriots are our second favorite team. It's a game where we get to root for against nobody. We get to root for the Patriots, but our most favorite team, of course, is the Buccaneers. And so we expect to beat the Patriots rather handily, frankly.
Oh, okay.
We expect to beat them rather handily. I hope they put up 60 against the Patriots. And you notice something there, Alex. He kept talking about a 4-0 start, Mr. Brady. He kept talking about a 4-0 start. You know who they play week 5? They play against our Miami Dolphins. Even Tom Brady Sr. realizes the Dolphins have Tommy Brady's number. No team in the league has beaten Tom Brady more times than the Miami freaking Dolphins. He sounded shook to me. I mean, he's happy. They're going to load up on victories weeks 1, 2. They're going to crush the Cowboys week 1. They're going to crush the Patriots week 4. No problem, my friend. But then when it comes down to the Miami Dolphins, who, I mean, how long is the flight from Miami to Tampa? Like 35 minutes? No travel problems whatsoever. You get right on the plane, you get right off the plane. Traveling to Tampa, it's basically like stepping into your backyard. And they're going to punish Tom Brady, these Miami Dolphins. Even Mr. Brady himself is not considering Miami to be a victory. Tua Tagovailoa is going to clown Tom Brady. You're going to have the greatest of all time on the field, and you're going to have Tom Brady on the field. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little Florida Panthers hockey with the host of Chirping the Cats Radio. My good friend David Dwork will join us to talk about the upcoming playoff series, Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida Panthers fans have a place to call home every Saturday morning as Cats insider David Dwork hosts Chirping the Cats Radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. Onside Radio is committed to all sports, and Panthers fans can now connect every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. with David Dwork on the home for Panthers fans worldwide, onsideradio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Bros, on Sunday, we get the Stanley Cup playoffs started for the local team down here. And listen, it's going to be a tough matchup. Tampa Bay Lightning, of course. I feel like it's a different Panthers team. Different attitude, different toughness. Got goal scoring from a number of different places on this roster. I'm pumped. And a guy who's even more pumped than I am, I can guarantee that, because he lives, breathes, sweats hockey. David Dwork, who hosts Chirping the Cats Radio here on Onside Radio every single Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Good afternoon, Dave. How you doing, sir?
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing very well, man. I'm doing really well. And I'm guessing, because you've been a Panther fan since day one, like I have, beginning of the franchise. And we've always wanted to see Florida, Tampa Bay to become a big-time rivalry. And this is the only real way to get there, right, is a playoff series. So we're well on our way.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that this is the only way to get there because, I mean, if you think back over the last, 10, 20 years, how many times have they tried to force this rivalry on fans like it was supposed to be a rivalry, whether it was the Sunshine Skyway or whatever, BS name they tried to come up with, a trophy for the series. Nobody ever gave a bleep about any of that stuff. It was just the Florida fans hated the Tampa fans because the Tampa fans were all cocky because they won and the Florida fans didn't, and you get all that. So there's a rivalry with the fans. But if you want to create like a true hockey rivalry in the sense of like the Detroit Colorados, the Boston Montreals, those big rivalries, the LA Anaheims, they need to play in the playoffs. They need to hate each other when it really counts and matters for something. And we're finally going to get that starting on Sunday, Alex, and I'm pumped.
Me too. Now, in the regular season meetings, the Florida Panthers were better. But how much do you think might be fool's gold of that? Because, listen, Tampa Bay, they've got the championship pedigree. They're the defending Stanley Cup champions. If any team would know how to, turn it up and bring up the intensity in the playoffs, a team that's been there and done that would know how to do that. So, do we proceed with caution? How much of the regular season success do you think will translate into success here in this playoff series?
Well, you proceed with a certain amount of caution. I think the main caution that I have after watching Tampa and obviously Florida play all season is that Tampa's got the two X factors, the Stamkos and the Kucherov.
Oh my God!
That's really the question: is how big of a difference are they going to make? Because based on the Tampa team I saw during the regular season, comparing them to the Tampa teams of the last couple of years, not as scary, not as dominant, and great. Yeah, they had a great record, all that. But watching them period by period, game by game, not as scary of a team. And especially against the Panthers. You see a Tampa team in the past against Florida, they would be coming at you in waves. They'd be scoring goals left and right. The special teams would be unheard of, and they'd be possessing the puck a lot. Not the case this season. Florida's game, their puck possession transition game that's been working so well for them, they played it extremely well against Tampa, and you can see the results, 5-2-1 in the regular season. So the only question for me is what are Stamkos and Kucherov going to add? Is it going to be enough to really counteract what the Panthers have been doing all year extremely well? And that's why I think this playoff series is going to be so good, because you had a team in Tampa that's dominated the Panthers for, 2 decades, basically. Now, all of a sudden, this season shows up. The big brother in Tampa is getting beat down a little bit by the little brother in the Panthers. So there's a chip on their shoulder from that. They beat their ass the last 2 games of the season pretty handily, both on the scoreboard and in the penalty box. Every time Tampa tried to start something, Florida finished it.
Yes.
So how much is the Stamkos-Kucherov effect going to have? Maybe it evens the scales a bit. I don't know if it necessarily tips them in Tampa's favor, but I think we're going to have a hell of a playoff series.
Now, what about the Sergei Bobrovsky effect? Because the last time Bob went up against Tampa in a playoff series, he did pretty good. The 4-game sweep with his 8-seed Columbus taking out the 1-seed Tampa Bay. And I know that the last couple of years we have not had consistently great Bob. Really struggled last year, up and down a bit this year. Seems to be peaking, though, at the right time. So I guess this is a two-parter. Does Bob have Tampa Bay's number? That's number one. And number two, I mean, honestly, how do you think Quenneville is going to manage Bob and Drieger? I don't know if Spencer Knight's going to be a factor in the playoffs, but how do you think Quenneville is going to manage his goaltenders here in the playoffs?
All right, well, I'll answer that one first. I think that's going to be the kind of the question du jour for Q over the next couple of days. And I'm hoping that he answers it, whether or not he's thinking about rotating Bob and Drieger the way he did kind of the second half of the season when everybody was healthy, kind of going a game-by-game thing, a la Peter DeBoer in Vegas, what he's been doing with Marc-Andre Fleury and Robin Lehner. Or is Q going to roll with the hot hand, which he kind of did more the first half of the season? That'll be the question to see. I think either way, you're kind of okay. Because if you go, I'm going to roll with the hot hand, and Bob goes out and lays an egg, well, then you go with Drieger,
right.
And we know how consistent he's been. Or do you keep both goalies kind of a little fire lit under their ass, and knowing that you're not going to play every game, you better show up when you get a chance? So I think either way, Q's kind of in a good spot here with the way his goaltenders have been. So we'll see how it plays out as we get into the series. Your second question on what to expect from Bob, I'll say this. The year that Bob had that amazing series against Tampa where Columbus swept them and Bob was amazing Vezina Trophy level Bob, that regular season, not very good. Pretty average on Bob's part. And he still showed up when the playoffs started. So if you want to take a little bit of solace in that, know that Bob, like many other players have done, know how to turn their game up in the playoffs. Is it going to happen? We'll find out. But at least if it doesn't, Florida has the insurance policy of a really good and consistent Chris Streeter. And then if they really need an insurance policy, I mean, I don't think any team's got a better three-deep goalie situation than the Panthers do when you throw Spencer Knight into the mix. So I think no matter what ends up happening, as long as all the goalies don't crap the bed, Q's in a pretty good spot with that in that department.
So last year, the playoffs were in a bubble, no fans. This year, at least in the state of Florida, we're going to be able to be at 50% capacity, correct? So that's going to be a factor now, Dave. Like, the fans are going to be a real factor here.
Oh, yeah, and then the players have talked about it. Q has talked about it. It's noticeable, and I think probably more so for them traveling to the different arenas who have the different amounts of fans, if they even have them. So, yeah, I think having 9,000 fans in the BB&T Center at the crazy playoff-level atmosphere, the players are going to absolutely feed off of it. So if you're a Panthers fan listening to this and you plan on going to the playoff games, please know that the louder and more passionate you are, the players absolutely hear it and feed off of it. So, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great playoff series. The fact that, look, even when they've had 4,000 fans in the BB&T Center, it gets pretty loud at times. You go late in games. I think back to that late Carolina game or even the Tampa games, serious noise with just 4,000 fans. You double that, and then you add the playoff intensity on top of it. That kind of takes everything up to the nth degree. I cannot wait for Sunday just to hear and feel what it's like in that building.
Hey, do you watch the new Mighty Ducks show on Disney Plus? And did you grow up on the Mighty Ducks the way I did?
Yes, I recently caught up on the new Mighty Ducks series.
I've only watched the
movies as a kid.
I've only watched the first episode. I grew up on the movies, of course. I've only watched the first episode. And honestly, Dave, one of my first takeaways was Gordon Bombay looks really good, because I remember seeing him like 10 years ago. I saw Emilio Estevez, because he doesn't do a whole lot of acting these days. Like, he's been kind of off the radar for a while. Like 10 years ago, he had like a guest starring episode of 2.5 Men when his brother Charlie Sheen was still on it, and I thought the guy looked terrible. And this was like a decade ago. Like, I thought he looked like bloated. The skin looked really bad. He looked probably way older than he was. So I don't know. This guy's found the fountain of youth, because Emilio Estevez, he's reprising the role of Gordon Bombay, and I think the guy looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how similar he looks to the Gordon Bombay that was in those 90s Ducks movies. Maybe, Charlie Sheen got one end of the gene pool and he's aging really poorly. And then, he was looking really solid when he was Wild Thing Vaughn and all that. Yeah. And now Emilio Estevez kind of looked like the little brother in the 90s. And now suddenly he's looking like he's got the higher end of the gene pool. So it's kind of funny to watch that. But the series is great. I'll say, as you get more into it, it definitely it tugs at your heartstrings, kind of like Ted Lasso does in more of a kids movie version. But, yeah, no, Ted Lasso is amazing. That show is one of the best shows I've seen, ever. I am obsessed with how good that show makes me feel. It's like unwrapping a little piece of candy every time you watch an episode. And the Mighty Ducks, Ted Lasso's for grown-ups. Mighty Ducks is a little bit more, for kids than grown-ups. So it's, take that into consideration. But, no, it's a really cool show. And if you like the movies, you're going to know all the characters. You're going to like it. And the whole storyline of the Ducks became the bad guys, and I thought I wasn't going to like it, but it's actually kind of interesting how they make it all play out. So 2 thumbs up on the first 7 episodes so far.
And I'm only through the first episode, so I'm way behind. But one thing that I noticed in the first episode that kind of annoyed me a little bit, and I give you permission, if there is anything here, maybe there's nothing here, but if there is something here, I give you the permission to spoil just this very minor detail, because you're right, all of a sudden the Ducks are still around. They become like a powerhouse youth team for the past, 25 years. But do the Hawks still exist? Have the Hawks? Because I was kind of hoping maybe it'd be like a Cobra Kai type of thing, like that show where the Hawks become the good guys and the Ducks are the bad guys. Do we ever see the Hawks again?
I don't remember if they played the Hawks. I know the Hawks were mentioned and almost kind of a dig at the Hawks, the Coach Riley Hawks, because they're like, we're playing the Hawks and they're not very good. So they did kind of dig on the Hawks a little bit at one point. I'm not remembering if they actually played them. They have played a handful of games. But the Hawks, the Cardinals, who are also a team that the District 5 Ducks beat in the first movie, are in this too. So, and the guy who's writing it and the guy who's directing the episodes is the same guy who did the original movies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The continuity is very much there.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that because I noticed the one thing when I was watching the first episode, I was kind of annoyed because I would have thought it was really cool because whenever they formed their little team, I thought, oh, it'd be great if they became the Hawks, but obviously they didn't do that. But I'm hoping the Hawks are in there somewhere because I can't just forget that they existed. So that's fantastic stuff. And hey, before we let you go, Dave, I got to put you on the spot. Do you have a prediction for this 7-game series between the Panthers and Lightning?
Yes, I do. I've been kind of toiling for about a week because I knew this question was going to come up, obviously. I'm going to take the Panthers in 7 games.
Yes.
I think the Panthers do end up – I think the home ice advantage is going to come into effect. I think having Game 5 and Game 7 at home are going to be huge for the Panthers, as well as starting the series off. If the Panthers can go out and win Game 1, that might turn into a 6-game prediction, but I think Tampa is just so good, and these teams hate each other so much right now, which we saw last weekend, that this is a series that could absolutely go the distance. But I think the Panthers do have the edge. I think they've got an amazingly talented and deep team, and I think it's their time. I think, we've been waiting for so long, and so many things that have gone wrong for the Panthers over the last couple of decades, whether it's draft picks, roster picks, free agency moves, just things that don't work out. The ice melts, whatever happens, nothing ever works out for the Panthers. And this season, Alex, it's felt like the law of averages are finally turning into the Panthers' favor. And everything they're doing, whether it's the GM making moves, whether it's the fans in the building, Coach Quenneville making lineup changes, everything is turning up aces. You got guys that they picked off the scrap heap in training camp, like Gus Forsling, one of the best defensemen in the whole bleeping league right now. So finally, it's turning around for the Panthers, and I think they're going to have some playoff success as well. Panthers in 7.
Love it. And I'm guessing this goes without saying, you're going to have a big playoff preview Saturday morning on Chirping the Cats. What can we expect there?
Actually, I'm going to have a friend of the show, Roy Bellamy.
Yes!
He's going to join me for a bit of it. Yeah, and Roy, he's a
Roy.
huge Panthers follower, so he's going to be on the show. We're going to break down the series a little bit. I mean, look, we've been talking about Panthers Lightning now for a few weeks, so there's only so much more that I could get into with this. I think it's more going to be just trying to pass the time to get to Game 1. Because, I mean, at this point, are we ready for this, man? Like, it's not just like all season that we've been waiting for it because there's been a pandemic. The Panthers haven't won a playoff series since you and I were maybe teenagers. I mean, in 1990, I was just becoming a teenager.
Yeah, I was
when the Panthers
11
went on that playoff run.
I think I was 11, maybe. I think I was still 11 because I think it was the summer after my 5th grade year. I was 11, so not even a teenager.
It blows the mind how long is gone since the Panthers have had any playoff success. So, let's just this weekend's going to take forever.
It is, man. It really is. Thank you so much, as always, for taking some time, providing some great analysis, not only on Gordon Bombay and the Hawks and the new Mighty Ducks show, but, of course, on the Florida Panthers as well. You want to follow this man on Twitter at David Dwork, and you can check him out every Saturday, 10 a.m. And I'm excited for the Roy Bellamy cameo. That's going to be awesome. You can check out Dave on Chirping the Cats Radio. Thank you so much, Dave. And, I know these next few days are going to just crawl by, but let's just get to Sunday, man. Have a great weekend.
All right, brother. Be well.
Really good stuff there. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot the name of that team in the show is the Don't Bothers. And it's a whole thing. Like the first episode, they explain it. I'm not going to go through the whole story if you haven't seen it. I'm glad to know that the Hawks are in the show, but I was really hoping that they would join the Hawks because if Gordon Bombay started coaching the Hawks, his entire life would come full circle because that's where he started. And imagine him coaching the Hawks against the Ducks. I should write the show. You should have hired me. I don't care if they have the original crew from the movies. They should have hired me to write the show. I come up with a great drama. I thought Cobra Kai did it best, with the whole, the back and forth between Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. I can't be the only one that I always root for Cobra Kai in the show Cobra Kai because I love, what is Johnny Lawrence, Billy Zabka. When I'm watching that show, the goody goods from Miyagi-Do, I root for Billy Zabka over Daniel LaRusso. I want a Cobra Kai. They got a little overboard when the original sensei takes over and he kind of makes them into crazed sociopaths. But when they're under Johnny Lawrence, I would always root for Cobra Kai over Daniel San. So it was weird. It's like a reversal from the original movie. Oh man, I just saw a bolt of lightning outside and I had flashbacks to last night. I'm just looking out the window. Oh, there you go. There comes the thunder. Oh no. So we got some weather. coming here. But I can promise you, fight night will not be delayed. It's 7 o'clock tonight. James Walker and I are going to host Fight Night here on OnSideRadio.com. We got a big UFC pay-per-view this weekend to preview, and really cool. We're going to go through all the main card fights with Lee Sterling from ParamountSports.com is going to join us in the 7 o'clock hour. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk with backyard fighting legend and one of the co-promoters for BYB Extreme, Dada 5000, who's just such an awesome dude. I've had the chance to talk with Dada over the years many times. I've watched him fight in person. He was featured prominently in the excellent Billy Corben documentary that came out a few years ago called Dog Fight, which I thought did a really great job capturing the South Florida backyard fighting scene, which is like a really powerful scene. Like, there's a lot of tradition there. I mean, Kimbo Slice, may he rest in peace, came out of there. Jorge Masvidal. I mean, Jorge Masvidal is, one of the better fighters on planet Earth in the UFC, and he came through the South Florida backyard fighting scene. That's another one. So there's going to be a lot of good conversations we have on Fight Night tonight. But we'll continue man of the match when we come back here on Onside Radio. Dolphins' schedule is out. We're dealing with a very sad Chick-fil-A sauce shortage. We got a lot still on the table here on OnSideRadio.com. Hey, you're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnSideRadio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If you missed On Side Zone with Big O, you missed.
She's kind of young, so I don't know. She may not be into Van Halen much. Let's see. Hey, Ruthie, good afternoon. Are you a Van Halen fan?
You know, I just had to Google Van Halen. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally have it on my computer right now.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnSideRadio.com. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Last night, Inter Miami CF lost to CF Montreal 2-0. Inter Miami CF was held to one shot on goal. Next match is this Sunday at 4 p.m. in Cincinnati. And don't forget, at 3 o'clock, it's a pregame show with Big O and Alex Donno live from Dangerous Minds Brewing in Pompano. The Miami Dolphins schedule was released last night. They'll start in New England and end with New England at home. 2 primetime games are scheduled for the Miami Dolphins and a trip to London against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll play Tom Brady as well in Tampa on October 10th. The Miami Heat welcome the Philadelphia 76ers at the AAA tonight. Tip-off is at 7:30, and the game is going to be airing on TNT. The Miami Marlins beat the Arizona Diamondbacks last night 3-2 in Game 3 of their 4-game series. Jesus Aguilar homered again, and his home run has now given him second place in RBIs in the major leagues. The two teams are at it again tonight at 9:40 with Trevor Rogers on the mound for your Fish. You are listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. And coming up is more Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Hey, we actually did get something new today on the Deshaun Watson front. So I'm going to say that what Rich Eisen said earlier this week is not correct based on this information. So Rich Eisen mentioned, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. He brought up, hey, you notice how quiet everything's been for the last couple weeks, that you're not hearing from either of the lawyers. Silence. You used to get updates every day on Instagram from Tony Busby. So Rich Eisen's theory was, since everything got really quiet, he believed they were settling it, like they were actively, working on the settlements. And so if you're working on the settlements, you obviously don't want to speak publicly and say anything crazy and jeopardize the settlements. Apparently that's not what's going on, at least not based on this latest information. Mark Berman from Fox 26 in Houston had a bombshell tweet today. Because he actually spoke to Tony Busby, the lawyer for the 22 women. Mark Berman tweets, when reached by phone Wednesday night, Houston attorney Tony Busby, who represents 22 women who have filed civil lawsuits against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, confirmed that 4 of his clients have met with the NFL's lead investigator, Lisa Friel, and 8 to 10 of his clients have met with the Houston Police Department. And Busby pointed out, quote, the Houston Police Department has been perfect, he said. While Busby praised the HPD's efforts, he expressed concern with the way the NFL is handling things. Quote, some of the women did not feel like they were being respected, which led to Busby attending the 4th session and said he told the NFL, quote, let's be clear, every time these women recount the situation, they have to relive it, Busby said after members of his staff attended the first 3 sessions with the NFL. Busby also pointed out that there are, quote, probably 4 more women who want to meet with the NFL, but he's not certain he's going to allow this to happen. When asked about a possible settlement for each case, Busby said that is not happening. Wow. So listen, there are a lot of different ways to interpret the earlier part of that statement, but I think the bombshell part of it is, when asked about a possible settlement for each case, Busby said that is not happening. So they've got their heels dug in. They're still fighting. Like, they're still taking this through the courts, which is very interesting to me. So you have to wonder. So he is accusing the NFL of not handling things fairly to these women. The NFL did release a statement today. So in the interest of fairness, I want to read that. The NFL responds to Tony Busby's concerns regarding the Deshaun Watson investigation. Quote, the allegations are very concerning, and the league immediately began investigating the matter under the NFL's personal conduct policy, league spokesman Brian McCarthy said in an email to Pro Football Talk. The investigation includes gathering information, monitoring law enforcement developments, and conducting interviews with relevant people willing to participate with the council present. The investigation is being handled by Lisa Friel. And listen, obviously, I think it's smart for the NFL to have a woman heading up the investigation, because when you're talking to other women about something as delicate as sexual assault, I think it makes a lot more sense to have a woman doing that than a man doing that, because, it's hard for a man, quite frankly, to relate to allegations like that. Quote, throughout her decades-long career as the chief of the sex crimes unit in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and most recently as the NFL Special Counsel for Investigations for the last 6 years, Lisa has earned a stellar reputation as a consummate professional who conducts investigations and interviews with compassion and fairness in an effort to determine the truth, McCarthy added. So 4 of Busby's clients have met with Friel. Busby told Mark Berman of Fox 26 in Houston that, quote, some of the women did not feel like they were being respected during the interviews, as we just read that statement to you. By the way, man, when you look at the comments to Mark Berman's tweet, Jesus, I mean, wow, a lot of potential victim shaming here, and of course, like, I can't say for sure that these women are actually victims, because Deshaun Watson has not been convicted of anything, but I'm also not going to say for sure that they're lying. And so some of the social media comments are interesting. One of the first comments was, if this was true, why not have all 22 women meet with the Houston Police Department? Then they don't have to meet with the NFL. But if true, file an official report unless they know they are lying and don't want to be on the record. This is Bill Cosby Part 2, someone writes. If someone violates you today, you go to the police today. You don't wait until a person wants to be traded from a sports team to come out of nowhere and still not go on the record with your story to the authorities. That's one of the worst mansplaining arguments, and you hear that all the time. Like, listen, bro, like, I'm a man, so I can't, like, I can't pretend that I can directly relate with a female sexual assault victim. I can't, but I've talked to enough people about these situations that I try to be respectful of the circumstances, and I've been told thousands of times throughout the years, and, it does make sense logically, because you hear this from enough sexual assault victims. And again, I can't say for sure that these women are victims, but if they are victims, then, waiting months to come forward doesn't automatically mean they're not telling the truth. And it's really annoying when dudes assume that, right? Because if you are a victim of sexual assault, that can be an embarrassing thing, and it can be very difficult to go to authorities. It can be difficult to confront your accuser because you don't want to relive that situation, like Tony Busby said. And so, you cannot automatically assume that because someone waits weeks, months, years, whatever it is, to come forward with their story, that doesn't automatically make them a liar. And that's one of the most immature things that people will say to try and automatically discredit an accuser of sexual assault. And, like, okay, using the Bill Cosby thing is a terrible example because Bill Cosby was freaking guilty. So, like, Bill Cosby, it took us decades to figure it out, but it turns out Bill Cosby was an absolute scumbag, lowlife, creep criminal, okay? And just because it took many of those women decades to come forward does not make him any less of a lowlife scumbag criminal. So that argument people will use that, well, if you were victimized, why didn't you immediately go to the police? Bro, it doesn't always work that way, man. That's not, some people just think, you know what, it might be better for me if I try and move on and forget this, but then oftentimes it's such a traumatizing thing you can't, and you may come to the realization later rather than sooner that I need to come forward and I need to tell my story. And you know what? People like these commenters on social media are a big part of the reason why victims don't always want to come forward, because they don't want to get shamed like that, right? Like, because if you come out with allegations against, an actor or a starting quarterback, then there are automatically going to be people who do not believe you no matter who you are and how credible you are, and will shame you for it. So that's one of the big reasons why it can be difficult to come forward. So I'm not going to automatically say just because it took, these women months to come forward doesn't automatically make anyone a liar. And it's a ridiculous thing to say if that's your opinion on it. We don't know. We don't know. At the end of it, I would love to find out that Deshaun Watson is innocent. I would love it, because that means 22 sexual assaults didn't happen. If he's proven innocent, that's a great thing. I would rather these stories be lies than be the truth. But how can I assume that one or the other is true when we don't have enough information yet? We'll wrap up this hour on the other side. Hey, Onside Radio understands gaming is a big part of the sports landscape. That's why every day we keep you updated with some of the latest gaming news with Onside Radio's E-Minute hosted by Toast, Kai, and Michael Christian. If you miss it, it's podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms, subscribe, rate, and review. OnsideRadio.com, the station gamers call home.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnsideRadio.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Dude, this is kind of crazy. I want to close with this story. Since we were just talking about Deshaun Watson, who has been accused of sexually assaulting massage therapists, sometimes the opposite happens, and apparently that happened in Ohio State. This is crazy. I just came across this story. Massage therapist banned by Ohio State for targeting football players. An investigative report was conducted into the behavior of a 41-year-old female massage therapist over a complaint filed on March 14th, 2020. According to the investigation, the woman would reach out to Ohio State football players, usually via social media. She would then allegedly use the massages as a way to later offer sexual interactions with the players, after which she would demand payment. Bros, this is the female Deshaun. This might be his soulmate. This might be the soulmate of Deshaun Watson. Like, he should leave his girl and hook up with this lady. It's crazy. Like this is the exact same thing, just from the flip side. So Deshaun Watson is booking massages to try and parlay that into sexual encounters. This massage therapist books massages to parlay it into sexual encounters. This is exactly who Deshaun Watson was looking for the entire time. Ultimately, it was determined that there were not any NCAA violations. Oh, yeah, that's rich. No crimes were alleged to have taken place. Well, that leads to an obvious conspiracy theory here. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a second. I mean, come on. Is it possible they were trying to entice players, recruits, with a professional? You know what I'm saying? The professional gets exposed. She's got to jump on the grenade. They wash their hands of her. There's no paper trail, right? So maybe Ohio State did a fantastic job. It's layers. It's like the mafia, right? You don't, you don't report to the big boss. She's not reporting to the athletic director. You have shell companies in between. It makes me wonder, man, because you hear stories about what universities will do to make their players think it's worthwhile to be there. It was determined there were no NCAA violations. If that was going on with the Miami football team, we would be banned from competition for like 10 years in bowl games. It's crazy. Like if the same thing were to happen in Miami, we wouldn't play in a bowl game until 2030. Like it's crazy. Ohio State, everything, nothing for them is an NCAA violation, of course. So there you go. Sometimes the massage clients are the predators. Sometimes the therapists themselves are the predators. That'll do it for the show tonight. Hey, remember, I'm back in an hour. James Walker and I are hosting Fight Night an hour from now. We'll have Abel working with us. We're going to have Lee Sterling on in the 7 o'clock hour for some fight picks. The legendary Dada 5000 is going to join us in the 8 p.m. hour. It's going to be a really, really good time tonight on Fight Night, so make sure you tune in. You can listen to us and watch us in all the same places. OnSideRadio.com, MyTuner radio app, Radio FM app, Simple Radio app, on YouTube. Chat with us tonight. Huge thanks to Alex Aguirre. Huge thanks to Ira Winderman, to Kyle Krabs, and all these interviews are podcasted, by the way. Ira, Kyle Krabs, Alex Winley, David Dwork had a wonderful cast of characters here today. I will talk to you guys again tonight at 7, and then Man of the Match will be back tomorrow at 3, right here on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnSideRadio.com. Follow us on social media.